Hello from Bali. This is the podcast Pigeon of Peace where we do discuss awesome skills to troubleshoot it. Watch, listen, and check the description below for the details. Let's talk about cyber psychology and let's start with the definition.
Cyberpsychology is about computer-mediated communication. We use messengers, we use social networks, we write something as a comments, and there is a very funny thing or story. When, for example, we were a child on the garden, if I will tell something against you, we could start fight because you know me, I know you, and you were witness as I pronounce the words with my mouth. But sometime in the internet, I will write from anonymous account and you even didn't know whom to answer. And then you will find the more popular you will become in Instagram, in Facebook, or on your website, you suddenly will meet a lot of aggression. Then more you're successful, the more aggression you will meet. And it's about psychology. From one point of view, people like to be like-minded. But from other, if you are have a beams of your success, sometime would be playing with these beams or dance, but some will show their aggression, their teeth, because they do not want you to be higher than them. There is also a well-known concept which is named like crab basket. For example, if there would be several rats trapped in the basket, they will help each other to be out of it and they will be saved. By crabs would use their claws, it's okay to say?
Klaus, that's right.
Claws to hold a body of each other and they will stay in the crab basket and they didn't make it out. The same in internet. People want to be like a gray mass. So everyone will say, oh, come on, Maxim, you could not write so many articles. Oh, come on, Maxim, you couldn't work abroad for such a high salary. Oh, come on, do not show us that you are swimming in a pool. Maybe you have rented this room close to your hometown for 50 minutes just to make several photos. But to be honest, in internet, there is another side or so-called dark side. If you will find well-known bloggers, sometimes they use the same car to make picture with them, like Lamborghini Urus or Bugatti Verona and so on. And they make photos on the same terrace with same caviar, with same vodka, with same bar, golden bar, and so on. And everyone right now understand it's not a real life, it's fake life. So, this is like with politicians. There is a saying, maybe I will misconducted, but I hope you'll help me. There was saying that подгузники, huggies, could be replaced as often as diapers. Thank you. Diapers could be replaced with the same speed as politicians for the same reason.
Well, this is actually funny because I do remember one of the things that you said, like the moment someone opens their mouth, you can see whether they're rich, like whether it's cultural or financial, because you can look at their teeth and you also could listen to their words as well. And again, like when we're looking into, someone who is just actually being attacked, so what kind of maybe effort or maybe the mindset or maybe the training it's set to have like a think cyber skin? Of course, it could be psychological skin, but again, like you also should be aware that there are like different people with different opinions. It definitely might be not the same as yours, and it might be quite opposite, and it might be quite offensive. So how to develop this skin to make sure that nothing goes through?
First, you should understand there are a lot of science which are quite related with the computer networks. For example, cyber linguistic. If you will see some post of the people, you will find, for example, this person from Kazakhstan. These people talk a lot about money, or this talk about a lot of shit or asshole or something like this. And you will understand, okay, if you have a pain, you talk about it. If you have everything okay, you will never lose your time. For example, there is also the same power of the fingertips. Some people, they are nobody in the real life, but they want to put a comment. And if they, as a small dog, trying to bark on the huge elephant, they think that everyone will understand that we are compatible. There is a quite good sentence from Schnur, this is vocalist and singer in the Russia, and he, after some quarrel in the internet, when he was received a lot of dirty messages, he was given interview, and he says, okay, those people who couldn't sing and maybe have no band and no sin, they could write me anything, what they will do if they were me, but they are not.
Well, I do believe this is actually kind of a funny thing. And again, there is also another thing. Sometimes, yes, let's say we look at ourselves as a beach at the tide, like when there is like a lot of plastic going on, et cetera, et cetera. So what kind of be like a hygiene procedures in order to make sure we don't really notice it, but we also want to make sure that our, like shores staying clean and nice, because at certain point of time, we might be having, like speaking with the clients, with the customers, with the loved ones, and they don't want to see this. And again, like even for ourselves, when we look out of the window, we do want to see the good things, because like the world apparently full of bad things, especially when we just like trying to focus on them, we see even more. So what kind of hygiene procedures we need to put in place in order to stay healthy, sustainable, and like again develop this thick skin?
There would be two stories. First, it's diversity which exist in our world. For example, if you will ask a bee what is going on, it will say, okay, everything, I'm surrounded by the flowers. But for example, if you will ask the fly, it will reply, everything is dirty and has dirty spots. The same would be with green green hair. For example, I will say to someone, you are fool, and this person could be offended. But if I will say, for example, to this person, you have a green hair, person will think, okay, but this is not true. I have not a green hair. If this were pronounced to me, this do not rely on me, so it wouldn't stick. But sometimes we take which is thrown by other people on our heart. There is also another story, third one, from Indian culture. By the way, in 2 weeks, I would meet my guru from India. He going to Moscow, and he asked me for 2 days to show what is Moscow and so on. So I would be making yoga practice with my guru from previous life. And I remember his story that every person is filled with something. And if you will stress him, or I don't know how to say, толкнешь, push.
Push.
If you will push, something will go out. If person is filled with thoughts, you will hear good thoughts. If he full with angry, you will see or hear anger.
And when we actually, like speaking of all of the spheres, basically, like it could be like a cyber psychology, then I do believe there might be like a quite fancy niche for cyber psychology, whether they're real or not. But again, like, we also should be aware of this. So whether this profession might be existed in the future, so that people actually, like could go and speak to them, giving that, like we are getting more and more connected, we are getting more and more affected by all of the that surrounds us, and it's like really easy to reach anyone in this world, meaning that like we could be influenced by anything, meaning that also we could be like held by someone who actually could take care of us.
It was a funny story. It was like maybe 50 days ago. It was a birthday of my daughter, and he right now is taking classes in German university. And it was a call from her side, and he asked me, "Oh, come on, father! Now I am listening of such a person in internet." And I asked her, "Do you know this person just trying to reach me, and he wants to pay me for consultation?" And I showed WhatsApp with the messages. And my daughter says, okay, please say him my greetings because I buy his courses and so on. And I was thinking, okay, my daughter will take courses from person who I am teaching right now, and this person is teaching me. So there is a phrase in Russian story, there are no prophet in your fatherland. How to say it? Нет пророка в своем
Homeland.
отечестве. Homeland. There are no prophet in the homeland. It's okay to say?
Yeah, that's might be the right one.
And second part of the wing. now we have great access to the information, and we think that everything is expensive or even given for free. You could listen to Harvard studies, maybe Stanford lectures, and discuss with some Oxford profs in real time. But I often say that it was 2006 year, and at this point we have internet filled with 50% of the fake news and fake information, and now it's just getting worse. So our shores are complete with garbage, with huge garbages. What we don't think and we don't want to see this. I have been working with Hotel Ritz-Carlton, quite close to Punta Cana. It's Dominican Republic, and it was a hotel, a fancy one, and it was going to run and open the doors. And suddenly, 2 days before the opening days, all the shores were fulfilled with garbage which came from the ocean, and we were trying to clean it. And as I remember, 60 lorry were filled with the garbage, and we postponed the opening of this hotel for 2 weeks. And I was thinking, okay, now we have a planet with so many garbage, and we could not even take our words, take our plans. The same with information. Sometimes we think that everything is internet is quite clear, but everyone could write what you want. For example, I would write that 2 plus 2 would be 3, and you will type that 2 plus 2 would be 5, and it will be contained in internet forever. There are no censorship, so no one could make a call to Maxim Golub or Oleg Bragинский and say, come on guys, you are misleading people.
And like when I actually was checking the topics for the conversation, there is something that also crossed my mind because like now we live probably in another hype for like AI and stuff. So maybe at certain point of time we might be having like someone or something that like would be like a healing AI, and like it might be their own cyber psychologist in whatever way or like fancy shape it might be. So again, like my question is like whether this kind of a thing will exist, or again, like maybe it might not be necessary because first we need to heal ourselves, and then we will need to heal our pets or technologies or even tools.
Yes, Maxim, you're quite right. But it's not easy. For example, even you help me very often. Sometimes when I conduct lectures, I'm trying to explain some thoughts, and I ask, especially you, to make fact checking. And maybe in at least 20-30%, I am going to be wrong. So I pronounce wrong digits or pronounce something which is not completely true, and you correct me. So fast checking, it could be part of our discipline. And when you try to write to someone, you should understand why you do this. There is also a story which was named like 3-layer filter, named by Socrates. It was a Socrates Greek philosophist who was walking along the street, and suddenly he was stopped by a man. He was gasping and trying to pronounce something, and Socrates asked him, is it useful for me? And man replied, no. Is it useful for you? Man replied, no. Is it useful for our people? No. And this was the case when Socrates didn't know the news that his wife is sleeping with another man.
Well, this is actually a funny story. Then my last question will be how knowing about cyber psychology would help to make this world a better place.
We stay at home so often. We stay with interconnections via Zoom or Skype, so we could forget how to shake the hands. For example, you are now on Bali, I am in Moscow, and between us, like maybe 8 or 7,000 kilometers. So you, for me, could be like an avatar, and for me also. And sometimes when we talk by phones, there are no nothing, just voices, and it would become an error when we will put a mask or filters, and it could be a lot of different people. There is also an anecdote, something like this. If you know, for example, this is like example for the women's. If you know that, for example, your husband sleep with someone else, do not try to make a scandal. You could create a fake account and start to bargain. First, you will get the money, and second, you will get divorce.
Well, this is actually funny advice. And we review the skill of cyber psychology and how it could be helpful for you. Stay in peace.